welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Top, and with me this week is Spencer. Hey man, how's it going?
Hi.
What's up?
Oh, we're back in semester now, so the place is
Busy,
a little
busy,
bit on
busy.
wheels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And yeah, is it just a hit the ground running? Things are go, go, go.
Oh, it's been hit the ground running since I got back from vacation 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. The non-vacation vacation that I had.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. So it's just go, go, go at university.
Yeah. Go at the university. Go at the house because the little fella just started his kindergarten, and there's been some issues with getting him acclimated to the routine and stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
yeah, yesterday he forgot to get off the bus.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, like he goes to an after school program because obviously he gets out of school before either of us get out of work, and he's supposed to get out of the stop. The counselor's got on and called out everybody's name, but he got shy and kind of hunkered down in the seat and didn't get up, didn't get off.
Oh,
So
no.
for a period of about 5 minutes, nobody knew where my kid was.
Oh no.
But it's totally on Reagan because he did the whole shy thing.
Yeah.
But he knows now. I'm not expecting any issues today. But needless to say, I had enough of an adrenaline rush yesterday that I could have went Super Saiyan.
Oh no.
But we're all good.
Yeah, it's a learning time
Oh yeah,
for everyone.
yeah,
Cool. So yeah, he started kindergarten. That's crazy because
yep.
I've known you a long time. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
like given that he's starting kindergarten makes me feel like I've known you for a long time. Given that I'm certain I knew you before he was born. I
Yes. Oh
think
my
some
God.
of
Yes.
our
You.
first conversations were before then, which
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah.
think,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
oh my god, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been years, man.
And then that ties into handily the first topic I wanted to talk about, in that we met on the Rooster Teeth community
We
site,
did indeed.
and they are closing the old site down and moving everyone over to the beta.
Yeah.
So which is going to be the new public community site, but the old site's pretty much all just going away and being
Yeah.
forgotten about, which is shocking.
Shocking and a little sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I'm gonna. There's who's it? Radius 55 has a thing that'll allow you to sort of preserve your own information or whatever it is. I glanced through it, but I never actually had a chance to read through it. So I'm hoping to preserve a bunch of stuff because I've got messages with you, messages with Jeff Williams, messages with Jeremy, all that stuff that I kind of want to hold on to, just for posterity, kind of a thing, right?
The messages you'll need to go through yourself and grab, because
Shite.
it only does a surface level, so a public profile thing it can scrape. So you'll need to go through and grab your own messages and everything. Some of the messages I thought I had have actually gone missing, so
Oh,
I haven't been able to find those.
well, mine might
But
already be gone then if that's the case.
yeah, there's some I just can't find, so I'm just like, where did these go? Maybe they got lost in the transition from the old site to the current old site.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
just like, oh, that's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, because I mean,
And then
both of us have been around long enough that we've seen it like a couple of iterations of the site now, right?
yes, yeah, and just the change. It didn't necessarily catch me off guard. I knew that it was going to be coming, and I
Yeah.
knew that they'd be giving us a heads up. But at the same time, it's like, oh, that time is now, and yeah, I had to go through, and luckily the archiver tool was there that Radius created. So I grabbed all of my journals, and I did have a lot. So I'm like,
Yeah.
glad that tool was there. Otherwise, I'd have had to go through like all of them manually copying and pasting out, which has saved me. But yeah, I think I do need to go through some of the messages as well. But I think most of the messages can be relatively ignored it's all for me. It's all just communication with people. I just need to find avenues to communicate with people in other areas. So like I
Yeah.
haven't messaged Audrey much, not on the website, but I still do need to reach out to her anyway. So I'll probably do that and just reach out generally to just say, "Oh, what's going on?" and catch up there.
Yeah,
That's just one
she's
example.
even her presence on regular social media like Twitter and stuff. She's been there, but it's been decidedly lower key than what historically she has been. So
Yes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
yes, she has her handfuls too.
yes.
Between family and work and all that stuff. Much like everyone else.
Yes. I say glaring off, being like, yes, I have a wife, but I also have no job. So I'm just like,
Yeah, extenuating circumstances in your position.
yes, yeah. So things are okay, but yeah, I'm just waiting for things to happen. Anyway, that's beside the point. The community site is going away, and it's
Yeah.
sad that like it's going away. It brought a lot of people together, and I don't see the new site doing that, especially when there's like I don't know how to find people on the new site other than
No, I don't either.
going through like people's friends lists of people that I know, and if there's like a whole circle of people that I just don't know, and like one person I know and I don't know how to get to them, and they're not friends with anyone else that I know, how am I going to be able to do that? It's quite difficult to navigate and negotiate, which is a shame considering it's supposed to be better for the community. And yeah, I like it. The old site worked well because you could search for anyone and there were like common news posts. Whereas
Yeah,
there's not really anything like that around at the moment. Like there might be I don't know if there's even a staff feed on the new site as
no idea.
well. And it's just it's just a bit of a shame that we're losing a bunch of history with the site. And I did post about it on Sunday,
Yeah,
saying that oh, I wish that there was a bunch of things that could have been done. Like the community's kind of not necessarily the community's fallen apart. It's just the ways that people interact with the community aren't how they used to be. And I don't know. It just needed some more attention. I think. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do anything, especially like with the change and shift in like the use of social media from all of the staff members and everything. Everyone wants to, well, in my opinion, the way people use social media surrounding Rooster Teeth is either they interact with their friends on it, in which case they have something like Discord or Skype to chat with everything,
yeah,
to chat with everyone, or they're trying to get attention of the staff, which is much easier on Twitter and Instagram to just tag them in something and be like, "Here, I've done this. Look what I've done."
yeah. I am
Um,
nodding in agreement.
yeah.
For the audio listeners, I'm nodding in agreement.
So it's just, yeah, it's just a strange thing to think, really. Like, it's I don't know really what else to say, but
Yeah, it's been hard to get my head around, to be perfectly honest, because I mean, I knew the legacy site was still there, and like you said, like you said, I mean, I knew there was an end coming, but this seems to be not an abandonment of it, but sort of a severe shift, like you said, in interaction. So yeah, I'm wondering how it's all gonna play out. I'll try my best to give it a chance, but right now I find other platforms easier.
yes, yeah, especially like on the old site, you'd always be able to search by people who are active in terms of most liked, most posts in a week, and stuff like that. On the new site, you definitely don't have anything like that, and if you can repost other people's things, but reposting doesn't let you know how many people have liked it or like that, so you don't get to
Hmm.
see necessarily like kind of in quotes quality of posts that people want to see, need to see, should see around the place. So
Yeah,
you can't tell like if you're just scrolling and you're just like, oh, I'm not really reading anything. On the old site, if you saw someone had like 18 upvotes, you're just like, oh, I'll check that out. But it's and that would be like on an everyone feed or a staff feed saying
yeah,
that there's stuff there. They have like highlighted journals on the side in like the sidebar, but one of them's from like March and the other one's from like April, and they're not updated or curated in any way. So I hope that that's something that they do work on going forwards, and you're just like, oh, this person's putting out some good stuff. Let's have a look at what they're doing. But,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I haven't even paid attention to featured user and whether that still exists as a function of the site. Who really knows? But
Well, time will tell.
time will tell. It's only it's less than a month away before the transition goes, and yeah, there's lots to go on there. So
Yeah.
It's stuff to think about, and yeah, I did meet a lot of people there, and you know, it meant a lot to a lot of people, and I don't think they'll be able to recreate that. Like,
I'm not even sure if that's the goal.
Yeah.
I don't think it is, to be perfectly honest, because if that was the goal, well, then it would have happened.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose there's I think they're trying to do too much, especially with like the subscription. Now it's a subscription fee for first membership, and how they're trying to compete with somewhere, but they're still giving a lot of their stuff away on YouTube. It doesn't really make any sense that they're trying to put out a streaming platform that's undermined by a different service that's free.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you also don't want to. I mean, you can have your subscription service with its perks and everything like that, but you also do not want to. You don't want to alienate, people. I mean, the subscription is sort of the goal, but you don't want people to feel completely left out. So you do want to offer up so much, that's not behind the paywall, so to speak.
Yes.
To keep people engaged, to keep people coming around, and eventually, they'll, the goal is that everybody will eventually want to work towards a first subscription.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think there's some things that they don't really tout enough as well. Like they have all those documentaries, most of which I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, the ones
And,
I've seen.
Yeah, they're great, but then they don't talk about it as one of the perks. They barely mention it, that they've got these documentaries that follow certain people, like Jeff getting his tattoos, and just that's a really cool one that stands out. And then it wasn't my favorite, but Gus going to all the convention things around the States, and that's interesting. I wouldn't say it's good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I forgot about that one, to be honest, mostly because they don't talk about it. Ow.
Yeah, exactly. And then, there was the one about the memes and things like that. And it's just, you just forget that they're things that they've done. And it's just, it's a shame. Also, that crew's working on Achievement Hunter now anyway. So,
yeah.
It's,
Hunter was one of the main reasons I when I finally could get a first membership, that's what I did. That was one of the reasons I did. Once my PayPal got all straightened out and everything like that, one of the first things I did was binge all of Hunter. And I regret nothing because it was a brilliant show. I love
it. It's just crazy. Like that's all gone on, and I'm just, I'm shocked that like some of the things, like they have a Let's Play series with Miles and Kyle, if I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, backwards compatible. Yep.
I've never watched an episode of it, but I know it's there. But most people won't know it's there if they don't talk about it. And I don't know how much they talk about it on other shows. I barely watch On the Spot, actually. So, but I don't know what's going on with On the Spot. But that it does go on YouTube. But they do have post.
Yeah, backwards compatible. Kyle and Miles actually do talk about a bit about it on their regular social media stuff.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, people are aware of it if they are following Miles and Kyle. If they're not, then they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know about it. But
I watched a few of the very, very early ones, but I haven't watched one in a while. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's a lot of content being popped out. So
a lot of content all over the place being popped out. It's kind of like, I don't know. I have issues with that, but that's also like, oh, why do I keep doing my podcast? And then then I always end up with the case that, oh, I'm doing the podcast for me to keep myself entertained and give myself something to do and work on.
Well, there you go.
No matter what it is. And I always come back to that being the reasoning. I'm just like, oh yeah, I like recording a podcast. Rather than I'm trying to get hundreds of views and get famous. Like, nah, that's never been what I've been wanting to do a podcast for. It's just something to create, something to have a good time doing. Something
And you're fun to talk to.
Oh, thanks. And just, yeah, have fun talking to people as well. People I find fun to talk to. So, yes, thumbs up also to you. Yeah.
Hey. Now, what is that I see on your screen there?
Okay.
What is that I see?
So, this recording might sound a little different. Last week I might have recorded with this mic too, but I got myself a new microphone. I got myself a Sennheiser E609, which is a microphone for usually recording music-y kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's definitely well suited to record guitar speakers. And
yeah, it is.
So I got it 2 weeks ago now, and I really, really like it. So when I'm playing guitar, in the past I've used a Shure SM57 to try and record, but that's always ended up with me going back to my direct inbox and using cab and amp emulation to try and recreate the sounds that I can create.
Yep.
Because I didn't really like how picky an SM57 is with its directionality, and like you have to get it set up in the right space. What the E609 has allowed me to do is hang it over the cab and just in front of the speaker in a spot that I think sounds good, and what I'm hearing in the room is what I'm hearing recorded. It's very similar to my ear, what I feel is recorded with the E609, which is why I like it so much.
It's not shaped. The SM57 has a bit of a shaped frequency response, which works for a lot of things. It works for drums, guitar amps, but you had to be very particular where you put it.
Yeah.
The E609, which I used to own one of these things before Hurricane Igor destroyed the warehouse that it was stored in, back in 2010. I used to own one of these things. It was my favorite mic to put on a guitar cabinet. It was also my favorite mic to mic a snare drum with because it has a darker tone than an SM57. I don't like putting SM57s on a snare drum. I really don't. I way rather put virtually anything else.
Yeah.
On a snare drum. But my favorite microphone that wasn't a KSM 44 because that is my favorite snare drum microphone is the KSM 44, which is Shure's flagship side address condenser microphones. But it only works in certain situations. It works where your drummer is not beating the piss out of your snare drum. It's great when it's a little bit more laid back and there's a little more detail in the snare work and all that stuff. It is beautiful for that. It captures every nuance. The E609 was great at doing that, but for heavier drummers, and it works. And it works on rack toms, floor toms. Not so much kick drum. I've used it on kick drum in a pinch, but it requires a little bit more finessing after the fact, like during mixing and whatnot. Sennheiser actually makes a dedicated kick drum mic called the E602, and after I had the E609 for a while, I picked up the E602 just to have it as a dedicated kick drum microphone. Again, another one of these microphones that I owned once upon a time that got destroyed. E604s are great, like for stage microphones for like trumpets, tom drums, like snare drum in a pinch, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But again, very nice, well-rounded sound. It's not scooped. It's not the frequency response is not tailored per se. It's just a good sounding microphone.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, I've also been using my Blue Snowball. It's just a USB mic. It's not particularly great, but what I did was I was recording with this mic to get some ideas about which I will talk in a minute. But to really create the sounds that I wanted, I have 3 amps at the moment that I'm using, which sounds ludicrous, but it's amazing, right? So I have a Boss Katana 2x12, which has two speakers in it. It's 100 watts, so it's louder than the other two. I have a 5-watt Fender Champion that I'm borrowing, that I've put into my 1x12 cab that I made myself, that's got the Eminence Swamp Thing in it, which sounds amazing. I'm so happy with that speaker. I think we spoke about it last time. I just built the cab. I'm so happy with how that sounds. And then I can use that as my main speaker or an extension speaker to my Fender bass breaker. There's an issue with the Fender bass breaker, although that's because there's only one volume control. There's a master volume and not a channel volume. So to really get the overdrive that you want, you have to really crank the amp. Given that it's 15 watts, that's quite loud. If there was a separate volume for the preamp and then it goes through the effects loop and then I have the master, that would be much better. But that's not how that amp's built, which is unfortunate because that's kind of limiting to it. So I have those 3 amps, but I also have a nano, an Electro-Harmonix Nano Pog, which is a polyphonic octave generator, which has 2 outputs. You have a dry output and effects output. But then I also have an ABY box, right? So I put the dry out into the Fender Champion 600 that goes into my speaker cab. And then the other out goes into my ABY box, which then splits it to go to the Katana 2x12 and the bass breaker, which have effects loops. So I can put reverb and delays in them. And then I can have them set up far apart.
I wish you could see the joy and excitement on your own face when you're talking.
I know, right?
This stuff is awesome. I love it.
So I have a dry amp that I put in the middle, and then my 2 effects amps on the outside that I can kind of work in a stereo kind of mode, and have it all playing in. And oh my god, I'm playing a wet dry wet rig, and the dry amp sounds incredible through the speaker that I've got, and with a bit of distortion and overdrive on it. And then that feeding into the other 2 amps, I'm just completely in my element because it is creating this massive lush sound that's just inspiring and fun to play. And yeah, I did until I've tried it, I didn't realize how much a wet dry rig makes sense. You get all the clarity of all the things you're playing first, but then you have all the reverb in another amp that you can turn up or turn down. But with the dry amp there, you're getting all the note definition. I'm just this is class, which is why I was using the blue, because you can just sit it a mile away from all of the amps and just you still get the note definition. Oh yes, thumbs up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's been inspiring to play, and that's led me into realizing I went back through all of my Instagram posts and everything that I've recorded and noted down. And I put out an album probably 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
Yep.
And since then, I have written 14... I've got 14 different song ideas that are nearly complete. I just need to get them recorded. Now I've got this microphone. I'm yes, I can get it done. Although some of them have a bit to them that I'm just this needs a bit of work. Or I've decided that their style is of a certain kind. There's one that doesn't have a certain kind to it. It has a band associated with it, and that band is Baroness. I'm this sounds like Baroness, so I'm going to try and write a Baroness style song.
Nice.
Baroness's album, I don't know if I've talked to you since I went and saw them, but they were class live. They were so good. I was
cool.
This is great. And then, I've been completely inspired by the sounds that I'm creating, and it's all just a good time. Everything's fun. Everything's nice. And I really like what I'm doing with the sounds. The microphone's allowing me to capture the sound that I want to record. And
nice.
I think that's kind of the thing that I'm just this is the most exciting thing. What I hear is what I can record. And with the Katana 2x12, it has it all built in. Nearly every boss effect, Stomp Box. And you can connect it up to the computer. And you can choose what effects you want, whether they're before or after the effects loop, and it's
nice,
really powerful. Really,
that's a good range of flexibility right there.
Yeah. So, and I have a bunch of pedals I can put anywhere, so I can choose where the effects loop goes, what effects I'm going to put into the effects loop, what comes after, what comes before, and just smash it. And it's just
Yeah.
it's such an easy amp to use, and it's so easy to get decent sounds out of it that I'm just blown away by it. The bass breaker is good, but it's good for like a higher gain style sound. Whereas if I need something clean, I can either go to the Fender Champion, which is only 5 watts, but if I'm not putting anything into it, it doesn't have an effects loop, so I'm just like, I don't know what to do about that. And you want just a little bit of reverb and delay on things. It's a bit difficult to do it with the Fender Champion.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be shoving that into the preamp, really, before it goes to the power. Anyway, the Boss seems to be able to do it all, and it's bloody loud, too. I don't have it set past, like, 9 o'clock on, like, the 50-watt setting, let alone the 100-watt setting. I'm just like, that's loud.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm having an excellent time with like
Good.
my new microphone and all.
Good. I like it when you're feeling creative.
Yeah. I do have a bunch of stuff I do need to send you. I know I keep saying that every time, and I'm just like, I have loads of ideas that I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. But I've also been learning songs and learning how things go together. There's a guy on YouTube called Signals Music Studio, and he breaks down like music theory and what chords kind of resolve into other ones, where to use 7th chords, where to use dominant 7th chords, and all that. And I'm just like, I'm learning. I need to get better at this. So I'm just working on like my dexterity between switching between chords, and that's fun.
Cool.
That's fun to play. I want to do a cover of Feeling Good by Nina Simone. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Now I'm like, I know how to do that. And I like how the song progresses. I like how the chords change. And I understand how it all fits together. And that makes me feel good. And I like it.
Good.
So that's fun also. And then, last thing that I wanted to get onto was there's a new Tool album that's just come out.
There is. I haven't heard 2 seconds off of it yet.
So, I think it's all right. Everyone's like, this is amazing. It's Tool. It's what we want.
Yeah, everybody's losing their friggin' mind over it, and I almost don't want to listen to it because I don't want to be disappointed if it's not.
So, here's my take on it, right? It sounds like a Tool album, but it sounds like a Tool album that they would record if they had forgotten they were Tool. They'd done an album, they were just like, this isn't very much like what we wanted. Let's do another one and then release that. Because it's kind of got all the Tool elements there. And it kind of riffs on stuff they've done earlier. But it's kind of like, in some aspects it falls flat. But in other aspects it's really, really good and unique. And like they've had a fresh start. So it's really odd. But that'll happen when you've had, 16 years?
16
away?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I played football a couple Sundays ago, and the album had just come out earlier that week. And a couple of the guys were talking about it, and they know I like listening to aggressive music and whatnot, and they're like, so what do you think of it? I don't know, I haven't heard it. What? And they started giving me shit for it. I'm like, guys, I'm busy.
Yeah. Like I said,
no,
I think I need to listen to it more, but I've listened to it probably 3 or 4 times now, and I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of like Tool forgot what they were doing, then recorded an album, then we're like, this isn't very Tool-like. Let's really try and amp it up on the next Tool album we're going to record, and that's the one that they've gone with. See? But it doesn't seem like an extension or progression from 10,000 Days. So I'm like, it kind of feels earlier, like kind of in between Inema and Lateralis. I would put it kind of in between there. But yeah, it's very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and listen to this just to get caught up.
Yeah, because I think like 10,000 Days was really good because it had all those other elements. Like you had the tracks where he was like talking in the intro to it, like Lost Keys and I can't remember the other 2 parts song.
I can't either now. Of course, I can't remember much these days.
Yeah, it's just like they had all this interesting evolution that went on across 10,000 Days, especially after like the connected songs from Lateralis.
Yeah.
But it kind of just feels like they've gone, oh yeah, let's just make an album that kind of flows the whole way through. and not incorporated the things they should have learned from Lateralis and 10,000 Days. So, like, I don't think there's much wrong with the album at all. In fact, I think it's very good. But at the same time, it hasn't. It doesn't seem like it's the next logical step for the band.
Okay.
In
So,
terms of.
is there anything stand out to you about it?
Not really. It's well written, and it just like all their other albums, everything's really well placed.
Okay.
Like instrument wise, nothing lingers on for too long. Everything has its own space in the mix. You can hear everything that's going on. But I don't think it pushes enough forwards as the other Tool albums, specifically Lateralis and 10,000 Days did.
Okay. I'm definitely going to have to go back listen to these now and then, because it's been a while since I've heard the earlier stuff.
Yes.
Clearly. And then I'll approach the new one.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth listening to it on its own, and then like in context, because the context kind of has allowed me to understand where that album should actually lie, and where I feel it fits in.
Right.
Obviously, it's not definitive. It's just one man's opinions.
Right.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go ahead to check it out. It's just not enough hours in the day, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That and we just had, post-tropical something or other. Dorian went through a couple days ago, so I'm still.
Uh-huh.
I only just yesterday got cleaned up from that. Not that there was much done, but just a couple branches here and there. I actually had to go out, like kind of in the middle of when because it didn't really hit Eastern Newfoundland, but it beat the living crap out of Western Newfoundland. But what we experienced here was a lot of like air basically getting sucked into it.
Uh-huh.
Like from away, like it was away from the core, but all this air had to get sucked into it from somewhere. So it just came from us. So we had a lot of winds in an unusual direction, and I had to get up and go in my backyard and basically trim the branches off of one side of a tree, because it was starting to smack onto my neighbor's like telephone wires. So I was like, well, I can't have that. So I had to go out in the middle of that and cut a bunch of that stuff off. So I'm still cleaning up that because it's a tree that was going to come down in the fall anyway, that I was personally going to take down myself because the tree is kind of sketchy. So, yeah, I had no problems going out and cutting it down. But now I've got, 6 or 7 big branches out in my yard that I've got to sort of limb down and take and get rid of somewhere. I don't know where right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my weekend.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss?
No, I'm good, but yeah,
Nice.
I'm just trying to get back into the groove of everything now, and as well as the new groove of everything else. So. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Cool. Yeah.
Have you got any new stuff coming out anytime soon with 1551?
Good at Being Bad is done.
Okay, nice.
Done and sent off. It's I guess in the process of going through whatever they are doing on their end for like a video component. But Good at Being Bad is done. We have started the very fetuses of writing some other stuff.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's just basically been just like test material right now. So I had to do some work on my guitar. So the actual laying of tracks has been delayed slightly. Also with the beginning of the new semester, I just literally and whatnot. I haven't been able to come back in after hours and do any work on it. So
fair enough.
But I have ideas. I have ideas, and Jeremy does too. Jeremy's already sent me a couple of ideas, and he's like, "Hey, you want to work on this?" Yeah, I do. Yeah, come on. But Good at Being Bad turned out so well. It's I'm thrilled with it. Other than that, yeah, it's just sort of getting the gears going now. So
Yeah, I need to send you some ideas. I
yeah,
absolutely do.
do
I
it,
will record some and I will send them over
do it.
for sure. We'll get started on some stuff and have some fun with it.
Yay.
Yeah, I have something I wrote earlier this week, and I'm just like, yes, that is a good, solid start of something. I don't know where the chords come from as well, and they sound really familiar. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter. It's in drop C, so you know, it's gonna be decently different enough from whatever I think it is.
You think?
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Right. Well, where can we find you across the internet?
Predominantly on Twitter. I do have an Instagram, but I'm hardly ever there. But on Twitter, I am Spencer in NL, or Spencer in Newfoundland, for what that stands for. And on the Rooster Teeth site, whatever iteration it is, as Grenou, Grenou. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. I can be found across the internet at Destroy Topham or at Ethafar. That's YTHAFAR. I'm at Topham on the Rooster Teeth site, and yeah, Instagram is Ethafar. That's my music account, which can be found on SoundCloud. Also, like I said, I have a lot of music ideas that I definitely need to start working on and getting recorded. Like I said to you, I have 14 ideas that I've started somewhere, and this idea that I've just said to you about is the 15th that I'm just like, yes, this definitely needs recording. I also have a massive list of songs that I want to learn, just so that if I can find a vocalist here that wants to sing them, I can do all these cover songs as well. I'm just like,
Sure,
yes,
sure, get Rachel in there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is that her cup of tea?
No, not at all.
Oh, that'll be perfect.
Yeah. So wicked. Thank you for joining me this week.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to you, sir.
Yes, it's great talking to you also. And thank you everyone for listening. Have an exciting week. Goodbye.
Bye.